All right, so Carol, I think you have your hand up. Would you like to go first?
Thank you. I'm actually in the carriage house of an 1870s mansion, which is part of the organization I work for in Massachusetts. So this is very timely. But thank you so much. I am so happy to be here. And first, I wanted to say I love the book. Especially, I enjoyed her as a role model for women breaking the mold no matter what time period they're in. And I also enjoyed the description of the woman who accompanied her to New York and their meeting. That was a fabulous part of the book. But my question is, I've been thinking about the title, and of course I can think and interpret it myself, but I wanted to know how, if that was your first choice for a title and why.
Well, funny enough, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much, Carol, for asking that question. I love your coach house. Congratulations to be in your coach house. What year do you think your coach house was?
Oh, it's not my carriage house. It's part of a historic mansion.
Hello.
Hi, it's part of a historic mansion of a company that I work for of historic houses.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, I've always, my daughter always says, Mummy, why do you wear your heart on your sleeve when you can wear it all over your body? So I believe very strongly that I like her heart for a compass because it's all about following your own instinct and following your own belief system. So I really enjoyed calling it that because it's really how we should all be if we dare to be and have the courage to be.
And the compass is the sort of geographic and emotional and personal journey.
Yes, that's right. And just the extraordinary and just you never know where you're going to be, and let your heart drive you home.
Thank you.
Carol. Miriam?
Thank you very much, Duchess. I loved the book and I read a ton. So a review should be going up any day now.
Yes, real quick, just real quick, Duchess, Miriam does reviews on audiobooks for a living.
Oh,
and paper books too. I have not heard the audio, but I have read the paper. And I can't wait to read your next book because I see one is coming out as well. So here's my question. I loved the interspersing of the narrative text with the news articles and the letters. And could you just talk a little bit about why you decided to add those in that way as opposed to any other way, right? Just like a straight narrative from those characters.
Yes, well, congratulations on what you do. And thank you so much for saying you love the book. That is a huge compliment. And thank you. And yes, the next book is An Intriguing Lady, and it's by William Morrow. And I'm very proud that Rachel Kahana said that normally people's second books aren't as good as the first one, but she says, at least you have not gone to the book desert. It is indeed the second book, she believes, has more confidence in it, really, and is growing in confidence as we keep writing, which is completely true. I have to tell you, when I first started writing, I thought I couldn't do it, and I went into the and by the end, as you read in Her Heart for a Compass, Lady Margaret grows in her confidence. So going back to your question, when I'm lucky enough to have written 2 history books about Queen Victoria and Albert, and then made a film, The Young Victoria, it's fascinating to go into Windsor Castle and to read the letters that Albert received from his mother, but never really knew his mother. And I found the power in letters so extraordinary. And as everyone knows, or anyone who knows me well on this on the Zoom chat, I'm really a big letter writer, and I feel the old-fashioned way of over pen, a pen on paper, is in fact why I put the letters into the book, to express how it was at the time. And how you didn't have a mobile telephone, you didn't have all this Instagram, you just had the power of the pen. And I found it really powerful. the Illustrated London News at the time, there's all these sort of things that now it's the speed, like Sharon said, right, come on, we're doing a book club. Everybody's telephones off, get on with it, we're talking. Okay, Sharon, whatever you say. But it's the speed, isn't it? And Sharon's in Italy and I'm here and you got up early. Sorry for waking you up so early, but it's just in those days, it was a long time till you got your letter. And I thought it was very important to add that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Sarah, you're next.
Thanks. I'm so excited to hear that there's going to be a second book. That's wonderful. My question is about the reference to Isabella Bird and her writing, which is very fun for me since A Lady's Life in the Rocky Mountains was required reading for me in college. So my question is, why did Mama have a copy of The English Woman in America? And is Isabella Bird still referred to today in the UK?
Yeah, it's quite extraordinary, isn't it?
Yes.
Don't you think? It's just, it is fascinating why she did, right?
Yes.
That's what I think is mysterious. I am an Anglo-American, Sarah, and I love my American friends deeply. And the American people actually saved my life. I mean, they did save my life. And when I went to work for Weight Watchers for 12 years in America, 2 cities a day, it's that sense of honoring American literature and the women of literature in America. I mean, there's some fantastic people that I follow, Emily Dickinson, and that, of course, that's poetry. But that's why I felt it was so important to put it in the book, so that really don't get complacent, British people. Americans have done an awful lot for us, and they have opened our eyes to so much. And I think I tip my hat to you, really. Does that make sense?
So yes, that makes perfect sense. I'm very connected to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Teresa, you have a question? You're on mute, dear.
Hi, thank you so much for being here today. And I loved your book. I'm obsessed with Scotland. I have some relatives from Scotland. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I wanted to just make one comment, and it seems like women are forever going to be dealing with unwanted attention. And I guess you really had to be pretty savvy to avoid it back in Margaret's time. But is it maternal or paternal side in your ancestry that Margaret is from?
It's my paternal side of my it's from Scotland, is my father's grandmother. Yes, so my grandmother was Marion Montague Douglas Scott, and that's why you have in the book Auntie Marion, and it was Marion that accompanies Lady Margaret to New York, and my great aunt was Patsy Dundee, and before she died at 101, she said, "You must remember, darling, your sense of humor comes from Scotland, and you must have a glass of fizz at 11 a.m. It gets you through the day." And of course, at 101, to say that to me before she died, I had to write Marion and that sort of sense of Scotland into the book.
Loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I like your chair, Teresa. I like your chair. That's a very special chair you've got.
All right, Lisa.
Oh, the one I'm sitting in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very special.
Lisa.
Thank you, Duchess. I did love the book as well, and I love reading anything that takes place in the Victorian era. But my question to you is, what in this society back in the mid-1800s, for a lady like or Lady Margaret that grew up into this kind of a family, how common or uncommon was it for a woman to refuse to marry?
Oh my goodness me! I mean, she caused the greatest blunder and scandal that she could ever cause, and it was honestly, it just didn't happen. You absolutely didn't happen, and you then were cut off, and you'd have to go off and work as a governess. You know, very similar if you think of Jane Eyre, you know, who was so well, she had great inheritance, but she had to go and work as a governess when that's all she could do, having been well educated. And so had Lady Margaret not forged her own path, and luckily had Auntie Marion, you know, to really guide her and chaperone her to Ireland and then to Scotland, to New York, she would have had to go and be a governess. I mean, she literally, I mean, I'm sorry, but honestly, she caused the greatest scandal ever. Now, as we know, she did actually end up marrying Donald Cameron in real life. So, of course, she was a wonderful woman, and Lady Margaret Cameron did start a wonderful hospital in Edinburgh, and we know that she was a great lady. So I fabricated all of that. But I think it's because, honestly, I've been judged by the British press for 35 years now. So I could feel that sense that of appearing to get it wrong, because you follow what you believe is in this life, what you wish to do. And that's why I made it so pronounced in this book. But it is absolutely the truth in history.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Christine? You're on mute, Christine. We can't hear you.
I'm trying so hard to be quiet, I forgot to unmute. But good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Duchess, for being here to speak with us. I did enjoy the book. I have read it all. I know the ending, so no spoilers here. How did you happen to choose the supporting characters in the book? Because many of the female characters were extremely hardworking, extremely capable, and masters of what they did. Her companion to New York got her all across the Atlantic, got her settled in, helped her rent a house. The wife of the curate in London was running his household and a great deal of the parish as well. And I think even her own mother, who was running a great estate, although she did it in a more traditional way, was also very capable. So how did you happen to choose the supporting characters?
Well, that's a very interesting question. In my next book, An Intriguing Lady, of course, the Duchess of Buccleuch appears again. And she was a classic example. Also, she was mistress of the robes for Queen Victoria. So she was a classic, brilliant example of duty, unselfish to the grave. And that was her job. Her job was to get married to this incredible man and do as she was told. To really do her duty, and she did it brilliantly. I wanted to honor her for her enormous commitment to the entire Buccleuch family, and of course to Scotland. It is still the legendary, iconic family in Scotland. Then you have Marion, who of course is now my great aunt, as you've now. My grandmother's name is Marion, but Marion in the book is my great aunt, who had that wicked sense of humour from Scotland. You have the amazing work of the people in the charity world and the ladies in New York. The ladies that look after her, and Julia Powerscourt. Well, that is my maternal grandmother from Powerscourt. That's another relation of mine. So I've really interacted with each person who is an ancestor, and if not an ancestor, who's honored or helped me through my trials and tribulations. And it's really interesting you've picked that up, because nobody's asked me that question. And when I arrived in New York, I had no confidence. This is me talking personally, Sarah. And it was the American people and the people from Weight Watchers, actually, and the people, from Brooklyn, or where I remember Hale House, Mother Hale, and she was so supportive to me and kind. And that's why I wrote that Lady Margaret went to start her own charity work in America from my own experiences. So it's incredibly real, this book, to me. And it's and every line is an experience or a feeling that I wanted to honor or thank, or just say sometimes you choose the wrong road. and take the wrong path, but you just get back on the path. You get your compass to get you back on the path, really. And I think the next book, I grow in confidence, and then I've just started book 3 about a week ago, and that is now, you know, robustly strong, and that'll be very fine to get that out as well.
All right,
Thank you
so
very
Janet,
much.
thank you. Janet, I think this is you, and then this is probably the last question. So Janet, go ahead. Janet, you're on mute.
Yeah, hi, Duchess. So this is a funny question because I really loved her character. I very much related to her way of thinking, because in my life, I could never have imagined being forced to marry somebody I didn't want to marry. And what she had to go through to not do that was just heart-wrenching to me. But I did notice, and this might be kind of a strange question in terms of details, that you, I think, set her birth date as October 10th. Am I correct in remembering that?
Yes, that's right.
My birthday is October 9th. And so I was like, oh my God, no wonder I totally relate to this woman. And I wondered how you picked that birthday.
Oh, well, that's so funny because she's a full Libran lady, as you know,
Yeah.
Lady Margaret. Yeah, and you're a full Libran as well. And of course, the author happens to be the same birth date as Margaret Thatcher. So I look as a full Libran, and Libran women are incredibly strong and well balanced as well, aren't we? Although everybody says we don't make decisions. That's absolutely stuff and nonsense. We do, and we get on with it. And so well done you being a Libran. Yay!
Yay! Thank you, Sarah.
Antonia.
Thanks, Sharon. Hi, Duchess. Do you have any plans on dramatizing your book in either film or television?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I believe that we fit in. I don't know, for those of you who are listening, whether you've ever seen Barbara Taylor Bradford, A Woman of Substance, and all of the Barbara Taylor Bradford books. So I believe that Julian Fellowes is The Gilded Age, and Bridgerton. I believe there's a market zooming right the way through there, which we could own that market space. And I think that I see this as a TV series, ongoing TV series. But I think that it could be that we start, the first couple of episodes are on Lady Margaret, and then we move to the Lady Mary, who's her sort of the Catherine Hepburn meets Cary Grant, sort of To Catch a Thief. It's a really strong, powerful, very, very rich example of women in literature who are needing to speak up now. And so, yes, I hope it will go into I'm not going to hope, it is going to, and I'm going to win an Emmy. What are you talking about? Or, okay, all right, then we'll just go for an Oscar and make a movie. Fine.
You know, I know a really good screenwriter. He's a good friend of mine. He lives there in London, Anthony McCartan. He's, I'm going to be with him in October. He wrote The Darkest Hour, as you know, and he wrote Bohemian Rhapsody, and he's just finished Whitney Houston's biopic. So he's a friend. So I can make an introduction if you don't know him.
Well, Sharon, yeah, 100%. We need to get this. Oh. How old is he, Sharon?
My age, your age, all right.
20. Okay, fine, perfect.
Miriam, you had one question. If you make it quick, I'll let you do it. So we're time here.
Okay, here's my last question. So Lady Margaret writes all these children's stories, and I know that you are a prolific children's story writer. Would you talk just a quick moment about your children's books?
Well, you're very kind. Yes, I started with Budgie in 1989 because I flew helicopters, and so I wrote about my experiences, and that did very well, and thank you for asking. And that was Simon & Schuster. I'm a great supporter. Do you remember in those days, well, even now, even just a few years ago, I must do a shout out for Carolyn Reedy of Simon & Schuster, because I love loved her, and she was my friend, and I miss her in the publishing world big time. And I know she passed a few years ago, but I love Carolyn. And so Paula Wiseman of Paula Wiseman Books does, through Simon & Schuster, prints and publishes my books. Robin Price Glaser, she did Fancy Nancy, of course, but with me she did Tea for Ruby, which was a very, very, very kind of her and a great success. And then went on to do oh yes, look, Sarah says she bought a Ruby book for her grandchildren. Yes, well, Little Red, Antonia can show you, but she was the only object to survive the North Tower of 9/11. She was born to save the lives of the children of Oklahoma City. And if you go to Ground Zero Museum, you see Little Red in her glass case. And so I hopefully will bring Little Red into animation, so that at this moment, Little Red is going into all the borders of Ukraine. And that's her in the World Trade Center disaster in 9/11, when she was found in the rubble, and CNN filmed it and said, look, a child's doll. And Larry King said, no, that's no child's doll, that's Fergie's Little Red, and she stands for children's rights all over the world. And because of her, we've built 220 schools. We never make any money from the actual doll, but we merchandising and licensing is where we can raise the money to build the schools. Little Red, we are very strongly believing will go into animation, and will be bring joy and hope to the world through light, through finding the way with her firefly friend, who can show the way forward. So it's pretty exciting. It was interesting because I won the Gold Triton Award last year in December in Australia for Larry the Lamppost, and it was Charlie Blue and Larry Lamppost, and it's a very real story, and I really found it very good to write. But my sister and brother-in-law came up to me and said, well, I think you made it too real. And I said, but you cannot make everything, you've got to be real. Children expect honesty, and if you don't address the fears of today, then how are you going to make change? And I think that's why I'm on the borders of the Ukraine right now. And I have to do a huge shout out, because thanks to Sharon and her generosity and the wonderful Kate McGuinness-Wyatt, we've been able to, with Brian and Cody from Revelgear, we've been able to get these amazing solar chargers for telephones and lighting into the bunkers, sanitation, water sanitation for children and for mothers and children. And it's just been an extraordinary collaboration between Sharon, Kate, Brian, and just a DAR Foundation, just to show that we all collaborate together, and that these women and children coming across the border are not alone. There's 82.4 million displaced people last year, and now it's just, I mean, it's going out of control. So yes, I'm going off to Croatia in 2 weeks. We're announcing more of a sort of pop-up play areas with all my characters, so that they can be seen, to know that children can be safe if they go into this particular space. And that will be done in conjunction with UNHCR and Montessori schools. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Sarah. And Duchess, and we are also, I mean, I talked with Kate about this, a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, Kate. We'd like to be able to, these dolls and other things, to be able to provide, some hope and some relief to children that are being displaced in Ukraine and other places around the world through this organization in Houston, and in conjunction with my foundation and with Sarah's foundation. So there might be some opportunities for you all to be able to donate and give if you'd like. And Sarah, Kate, you've got your mic off, so maybe Kate might be able to elaborate on that as we move into the future. I don't know what it looks like yet, but that's why we have smart people like Kate helping us, right? Right, Duchess?
Oh my gosh, Sharon, what would we do without Kate?
I know, right? Right.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I mean, seriously, I've always admired her, honestly, and she gets furious when I say run for president, but she should, really.
No, but I'll take just a moment just to say what a delight to be amongst so many wonderful, brilliant, inquisitive women. It always gives me a charge, as it does, I'm sure you. And what is being discussed here is one of the many charitable initiatives the Duchess has pursued for 30 years. And in this case, consistently helping women and children in disaster zones. So this is not new to her. What we have done, and I'm just an old friend of hers, I don't work for her, I'm a friend of Sharon's. What we have done is create, particularly for Ukraine, is a very solid nonprofit establishment. So if people do want to give, there is a way to do so, and we track it so we know exactly where the money's going. There is no cut going to anybody. A lot of charities take a percentage. Sarah knows not only the mayor of Warsaw, but we're also working directly with the person, a member of parliament in Ukraine, who is directing all of the humanitarian needs. So we know what we're giving goes where it needs to go. And in this case, it's particularly the people need solar powered batteries. They can't use their phones. They can't use their computers. And we have identified a very lightweight one that also has lights that can be used at night in shelters, in tents, and then water sanitation systems. And again, all of these things have to be light and they can travel easily. They have to fit into backpacks as well. So if you would like more information, you contact Sharon and I'd be happy to send it to you. And that
Thank
wasn't intended. Sharon, we didn't intend to make a pitch. This is not.
No,
a
no,
pitch.
we didn't. No, we didn't.
No,
did we?
this is a book club meeting, but if you're interested, you can let us know. Because, Sarah was telling me about, a lot of these, at night, they go down to these bunkers because there's bombs going off and these places are filled with rats and the children are afraid. And it's just a horrible situation that's going on there. So with that, Duchess, I want to thank you so much for joining us in this book club. We do have authors that come in a lot. Oftentimes we don't. It's just us gals talking about the book, but we always enjoy having the author on board. And we would thank you for joining us. And it was a pleasure to have you talk about Lady Margaret. And thank you for all the wonderful work you do in the world to make the world a better place. So
Back at you, honey. And
well,
thank you for everything you do, and a big love for your great donation to us. And I'll send you photographs in the coming week. And Kate, thank you for everything. And Antonia and the entire team, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys. Thank you, ladies. Bye. All right, ladies. So you guys, I think the Duchess is leaving us, as is Antonia. But so you guys can take me off mute now if you want to chat. So we have a few more minutes left, 15 if you'd like. So did you enjoy? Yes?
Loved it.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Wow.
All right, I pulled it all the stops. I can't outdo this. This is authors. I'm done. I've worn out all my author abilities.
She's a Libra, so I'm hooked.
You're hooked.
My heart.
Great.
Excuse me, I have to go because I'm sort of at work.
Of
So,
course. Listen, I apologize that it was during the day, but
No, I'm excited. I told them, forget it, I'm coming here. But in any event, believe it or not, I'm at a collections care workshop, learning how to use a vacuum and clean objects. I am fine. So I wanted to ask you what the next book is.
I'm debating between two. I haven't finished reading the second one yet, but I'm thinking about the Lioness, Christian Behavior's book, but I haven't finished it yet.
The what?
We can hear that.
Yes.
The Lioness?
Yes, brand new.
Okay.
Miriam?
Who's the author?
Christian Behavior, whatever his name is.
Chris Bajalian.
Yes, him.
I can put it in the chat.
Oh, Chris
Okay.
Bajalian.
But you guys
But
didn't like his other one.
You'll send us a message.
Yeah, but don't write it down for sure yet, because you guys
Right.
Okay.
when he wrote. So, give me an ugly look.
You'll just let us know.
Yeah, I got a couple days yet. I'm not finished reading
Okay.
it yet.
Violetta is good. I'm reading
We'll
it.
wait.
Thank you. But
This
yeah,
is good
I have been behind. Christine's giving me a dirty look too. Look at that.
No, I'm not at all. You know, I mean, you have so many demands on your time, and reading requires a little bit of quiet and peace.
Yeah, I've been running around like a maniac. And I tell you what, trying to get the Duchess, her schedule, trying to nail her schedule is like nailing Jello to the wall.
I'll bet.
You did it, Sharon. This was just
But
what I
it worked.
needed.
It
This
worked.
was perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
I just have to say that this book in a time like this we're going through was so important, but yet so enjoyable to read.
Yes.
A romantic novel about a strong woman without any real, you know, horrific things that we had to encounter.
Yeah, there was no blood, no rape, no crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I
the
wasn't- I
same-
wasn't, it was no drama, it was drama, but no real drama, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't horrified.
Enough drama.
Well, at the same time, I've been reading Killers of the Flower Moon about the Osage Indians, the nonfiction book,
Yeah.
which is going to become a series, because I lead a book group about the massacre of the Osage Indians. And you know what? This was a delight. So see you guys next month. Have a great Memorial Day.
Thank you, Carol.
Well, thanks, Sharon, for everything.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So, I
Bye.
hope you enjoyed The Duchess. I don't
Loved it.
I don't have any authors lined up for this summer. Maybe we'll get one. I don't know. But maybe we'll have a break from authors for a while. We can actually discuss, you know, we can be critical again. You can't on the phone.
That's fun. You know, some of our book groups, we have like a half an hour or whatever time before we talk a little, and then the author comes on.
Yeah, we haven't had any time to do that. I mean, it's just been really difficult, even get them scheduled. So, but it was nice.
Oh,
to have-
I know, you're all over the place. Oh, but thank you so much for this. This was,
Thank you.
this is what I needed right now in my life, so.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't know if she was going to talk about her relationship with Diana or not, because I mean, sometimes she does. Because I knew that her relationship with Diana was very similar to her relationship, the relationship she had with
Louise,
with Louise. Yeah. So
that was my question. That was gonna be my question, but she kind of answered it, so.
yeah, I didn't want you guys to necessarily ask it. I was going to ask. That's why I said stay with the book and not let her
Right.
her go.
Right.
Because I didn't want her to feel awkward.
Yeah.
I want you guys to ask her any questions about Andrew.
No, I
Oh,
do that.
Yeah, there's enough going on with him.
We don't care. We don't want to know.
There's enough going on with him. We don't need to go there.
Yeah, right.
I knew that.
But she went there with Louise. And she didn't go into it as much as I thought she would have. She and Diana were very close, but she tried to make that relationship between the princess and her as well. So I thought that was interesting. I tried to get her to go there about the duty thing, and she didn't quite take the bait. But she did ultimately go there, so it was kind of nice.
It was fascinating, you know, and the fact that she came here to New York and the, you know, how it made such an impression on her, that was fun for me to hear too, you know.
She felt so
I'm
excited
glad she had a
in the
positive
US.
attitude about New Yorkers. Most people don't, you know, about, you know, they're all about how we were all, I mean, I grew up in New York City, rude and, you know, obnoxious. And I'm glad that she had a good experience being there.
Well, I do have a little news for you, and now there's nothing official, but she and I are talking about writing a book together.
Yay.
Awesome.
So we have no idea what it's going to be. So, and the way it'll work is I'll have to come up with what it is, and then she'll say, okay, and then we'll figure it out. But
Very cool.
some sort of bantering about what that might look like. And we're thinking about sort of the Regency period, you know, a US based, you know, heroine and a British heroine. You know, there's like two of them, and we don't even know what the story's going to be. But it would be completely made up, you know. We have no idea what it would be yet. So, but no, she's delightful. And she's just such a nice, easygoing, approachable.
Very down to earth.
Yeah. Not at all what you would expect. So
Great.
Yeah, no, it was great. Just.
And I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I mean, like I said,
I loved it.
as opposed to, I'm glad Carol brought that up. So many of the books that we get, you know, I think it's trying to make them commercial, and they are sometimes so filled with so much, you know, bothersome material that it is hard to get through. But there was none of that in here. No death, no mayhem.
There's sometimes an expectation that if you have a female character, you need some kind of violence and trauma in order to make her relevant in the story. And that's very frustrating because I think we women believe we're relevant even if nothing major is going on at the moment.
Right.
But it's not necessarily seen that way in literary fields or, you know, in movies and television sometimes.
Well, unless it's an author like, you know, with a name recognition like her, you're not
Right.
going to a publisher.
Right.
This constant escalating
Correct.
stakes.
Right.
So unless there's that,
Right.
you know, that's going to be an issue, especially with, you said, with a female heroine.
Yep.
So has her second book been published already? Is that
No.
out? No, not yet. Okay, because she said she was working on a third one, so I thought.
Yeah, well,
okay.
that's the timing.
So, yeah, so book 2 is coming out in August. It's called A Most Intriguing,
An intriguing lady.
a most intriguing lady. And it's coming out in August. But you need the word most in there. It won't show up in Amazon.
Thank you.
So
It doesn't have a cover picture yet, but it's in my shopping cart.
and we can read it and I can invite her back.
I don't know if you can see my shirt, but this, I thought this was appropriate. It
All
says
right.
strong female
It
protagonist.
sure does. Yeah.
That's
We
good.
can invite her back. I'm sure she would love to come chat with us again. And she will be in the States again. So, you know, sure we can, you know, get a time. But again, if she comes back with us and she's in the UK, it's going to be an early book club.
It happens.
Not early. Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry, but you know, it's just the timing thing because other
Sure.
o'clock, our time would be midnight in London.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
expect her to do that.
That wouldn't work.
It's
All right, well, I
well
know-
worth it. Sharon,
Yeah.
what are you doing in Italy? Are you on vacation?
No, my husband is here. We're blending wine. So we'll be here for a couple days and then back. So very short.
Safe travels.
Brunello and
Travels.
some Super Tuscans. So
Nice.
Nice.
we'll be home.
Well, safe travel, Sharon.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you guys, ladies.
Thank you.
And I will see you guys next month. I don't have the date in front of me, but I think
Okay.
June, let me look, hold on. June. Either 23rd or 30th. 30th. June 30th.
Oh, good. Good.
Question,
Yes, ma'am.
Lioness, what's your second?
I don't have it. I think Christie Affair.
Christy?
Oh, Christie Affair. And it's not the Benedict book, it's the other one.
It's a wonderful book.
Like that
I
one?
I
read it. It's a
started that
wonderful book.
Christie Affair. That's really good too.
Someone says a wonderful book, then we'll.
And So you're speaking about, I think he wrote The Flight Attendant, and also I read a book, or did we read it all together about witches in Salem? I might
Yes.
have read it myself. That
Hour of the
Chris,
Witch. Yeah.
whatever his last name
Chris
is.
Bajalian, yeah.
Hour of the
Witch.
Witch. The
You
Hour of
guys
the
did
Witch.
not like that book. I
Everybody
liked that book.
did.
You all
I
didn't.
liked it.
I like
liked it.
I liked it.
I
Well,
liked
some of
it.
you didn't like it. Miriam didn't like it. Jean and I liked it.
I liked it.
too.
We had a mixed review on it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bajalia, on the last one, but
Right.
it's called The Lioness. And like I said, I just started it. The other one was the Christie Affair.
Right.
That's on my list.
Have you guys read Violetta yet? Anybody?
Which one?
Violetta by Isabel Allende.
No.
No, Allende.
It's good. It's kind of slow, but it starts out in the Spanish flu time. So it's got a little bit relevant
What's it
there.
called, Janet?
Violetta. It's about a
Violetta.
woman named Violetta.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat if you can.
Yeah, write it out.
What,
So I can't spell.
Violetta.
I think it's pretty phonetic.
Yeah, it is.
Violetta.
I got it. But-
I have a quick question.
There you go.
Violetta.
My book
Thank you.
has, that I read, Her Heart for a Compass, has a lot of things that are lined through.
Because
Yes.
what that was is
Yeah.
those letters were being written. And
Oh, yeah.
and they scratched out a line in handwritten,
Yeah,
and then they scratched
okay.
through. That's what that was.
Right.
So that was intentional.
Yeah, so if you're penning
Correct,
a letter back in
okay.
the old days and you made
Yeah.
it, you want them to
We
read
have an
it.
eraser.
Yeah, they would just line through
Okay.
it. So she wrote it just as it was.
Right. But it also
Yeah.
gave you the opportunity to see what wasn't said, but what was thought.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You got that kind
Very
of what was
clever.
going through their mind as opposed to what they shared that was more appropriate.
Right.
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, some of those
Okay.
edits were more interesting than the actual letter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Right.
wide out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Or, yeah, or
Sharon,
no, yeah.
The
perfect.
Christie Affair, is that the Nina DeGrammett book?
That's the one.
Okay.
That's the one. And the one I'm really looking for, I think it's coming out later this summer, is Midnight on the Marne.
Which one? Sharon?
Midnight on the Marne. It's not released yet, but it's
I don't know.
Right.
Midnight on the Marne. It's supposed to be, the reviews on Goodreads, like the pre-release ones are fabulous.
Wow.
Yeah, can't wait. It's really, really good. I think it's during World War I, that time period.
There's a lot of World War I and World War II books out these days.
World War I hurts, II hurts my.
It's like
I'm
almost,
tired.
it's almost overload to some degree, but
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, right. Christy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that one's coming out in the middle of, in the beginning of
awesome.
August also.
Yeah, that one is Midnight on the Marne.
Mhm. Midnight on the Marne, it looks really good.
I know.
Forge books.
Looks
I'm
really good.
I'm reading Her Last Affair by John Searles, if anybody wants something a little lighter. And just throwing that out there.
A nice, good, summer read. I could use well, this one,
Yeah, no, it's something I need right now. Like,
no death and mayhem.
yeah, no, so. Putting that out there. And John Searles, I believe, is coming to Long Island in the next few weeks, so I'm hoping to meet him.
Wow.
What's the book again, Mindy?
Her Last Affair. I'm gonna put it in there.
All right, ladies, I will let you go. I'm gonna go
Okay.
drink Negronis.
Hey, safe travels.
Yeah,
Negroni for me.
So they're supposed to be
awesome.
having sunset Negronis, so I've got to
There
go.
you go.
All right.
Ladies, thank you. I hope you enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you,
So much,
Sharon.
Sharon. This is great.
Take care.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.